Hey guys, it's James Holt back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about building your team for your online business. Specifically, we're going to be talking about hiring virtual employees, so VAs and graphic designers, that kind of thing, from the online jobs platform onlinejobs.ph. It's been a great thing for my business, and I want to introduce you to the platform and explain the reasons why you should consider hiring there. So first of all, the reasons to hire a VA. Obviously, you're going to save a lot of time. You can get more work done because you're not focusing on tasks that you don't want to do or tasks that you're not good at. So for example, I'm not good at graphic design. I don't like it, and the graphics I design after a long time, they still just don't look good no matter how much time and effort I put into it. So that's one of the things I outsource, and I can get someone from the Philippines to do that for me for $5 an hour. It takes me minimal time to manage them because they've got daily, weekly tasks that they complete by themselves, and the quality is better, and it costs me $5 an hour. At which point, I just think that's a good investment and allows me to focus on other things that are more important for growing the business, like running ads or building new stores, or even making these YouTube videos now for the personal brand. So essentially, VAs allow you to grow your business faster, or if you're already happy with where you're at, they allow you to maintain your business with less work on your part. So you can enjoy yourself or do whatever you like to do when you're not working on your Shopify store or other online business. Like I said, the place I hire is onlinejobs.ph. It's a jobs platform for people in the Philippines, and it is absolutely brilliant. I've been on other jobs platforms. I've been on Upwork. I've been on sort of specific platforms for hiring writers, and none of them are as good as onlinejobs.ph for the sort of thing I'm talking about here. The great thing is you actually hire the employees for yourself, and you don't need to pay anything to the platform on a weekly basis based on the salary. So the way Upwork works is all payments go through them and they deduct a fee. That's not the case with onlinejobs.ph. They just have a monthly fee for being a member. I think it's $69, but the great thing is you don't actually have to have the membership active at all times. So you could just buy 1 month's membership, hire the people you want to hire, and then get off the platform. You don't need to pay any more, and you can still work with the people you hired. So the link for that's going to be down below in the description. There's an affiliate link. If you sign up through that, I get a little cutback. But even if you just Google it yourself, I highly recommend the platform. So when you get on there, you're going to be able to create a job post, and you're going to get a lot of candidates. So for sort of general Shopify VAs, you're going to get 100, 200 applicants within a few days. You're going to have a strong filter for who you hire. And these are some of the things I look at. So the way I write the job description is I've got a list of tasks and skills that are needed for the job. And then at the bottom, I say something like leave your Skype ID in your application, if so that I can contact the best candidates. So that does a few things. First of all, it cuts down the communication time because you can immediately contact people you want to contact through Skype. It also filters out people who are just spamming their application to everyone. So what I look for in an application is that they've actually read what the job description is about. So there should be something in their message that is specific to my job post and not just a copy paste from every other job they're applying to. Also, I look for experience with all the required tasks. That's especially important for customer service and the back end of Shopify. I look for people who are not working for anyone else, because the whole point of hiring an employee, I think, is to get someone who's loyal to you, who you can invest time into training them and making sure they do a really good job for you. And if they're working for other people and also constantly looking for new work, I think that takes away from the quality of work they do for you. Communication skills over Messenger is very important. You have to be able to understand each other in English. And other people recommend calling them. I don't do this personally. For one thing, a lot of people aren't comfortable talking over Skype. And since it isn't really necessary for the type of job I'm hiring people for, I don't care how they talk English. I just care how they write English, because they're going to be communicating with my customers over email as well. So communication skills only over text is what I look at. Now, for things like graphic design or video editing, I don't actually care how much experience they have. I just care about the quality of work and whether they can do the work as I want it done. A little trick here is to select, say, 5 candidates that you really like, so your top 5, and send them a rather vague task. And by sending them a vague task, first of all, you'll figure out, are they confident enough to ask questions, ask intelligent questions about the job so that they figure out what you want? Or do they skip that and just instinctively know what you're looking for? So, for example, when I was hiring for the job post making thumbnails for these YouTube videos, I sent 4 or 5 people the task to create an example thumbnail of any of my videos in the style of Hayden Bowles or Tanner J. Fox or Alex Becker. So they then have to look up these people, look at their thumbnails, and create a similar style of thumbnail for my videos. And then when they all did that, some people asked questions, others didn't. I then chose the person's work, whose work I was most happy with, and eventually hired them, and that has gone really well. Tasks I delegate. Like I mentioned, the thumbnails for YouTube, I'm not good at it. I don't like doing it. I don't think it's worth my time at this point, so I outsource that. It costs me about $400 a month for uploading YouTube videos, doing the tags, description, and also creating all the images for social media and the thumbnails. I also don't do social media for any of my stores. So my Shopify stores, social media accounts are all handled by my VA. She creates the images for it, she posts them, she replies to comments, she does all of that, and she does a very good job at it. And those accounts are growing nicely thanks to that. Again, this is something I don't enjoy doing and I'm not particularly good at, so I don't see any reason to do it myself at this point. If you're just starting out, of course, you might want to do this yourself, and I'll tell you, when you start outsourcing more and building a team, what becomes more important than your actual graphic design skills is the bigger picture understanding of what you're doing. So you need to be able to tell what a good video thumbnail is, but you don't need to be able to actually create it yourself, if that makes sense. So you need to have a broad, big picture understanding of all these things, but you don't need to actually know how to do them efficiently yourself. Most important tasks outsourcing specifically for Shopify, of course, are customer service via email or social media accounts, and also order fulfillment. These 2 tasks are a huge pain in the ass, and I highly recommend you outsource them as soon as your Shopify store is profitable or after you've made 50 to 100 sales. So you want to do it first yourself so that you get a feel for how it works, and then outsource it immediately. And I recommend you do that via onlinejobs.ph. Another thing, in 2017, I started working a lot with freelancers, mostly through Upwork, and I thought it was great. They were doing good work, mostly writing jobs, and it was good for a while. But eventually, just about all good writers dropped off because if they started working for me, they were getting paid maybe $20 an hour. And if you're a good English writer on Upwork, you can charge more than $20 an hour. The reason people accept that type of work is because when you're new to the platform, you have to build up trust and a good reputation on Upwork, so they'll happily take work from me. But once they've billed 100 hours, say, or done a few tasks for me and for other people as well, they then improve their reputation to a point where they no longer are interested in work for $10, $20 an hour. So eventually all my good writers drop off that way. So it's kind of a frustrating process because you're always looking for new writers, and there's also no real value in training them because as soon as you train them, by the time they've improved substantially, they've moved on to new work. So that's a big problem with these freelance platforms I see. They're fine for short-term work if you need one article done, but I wouldn't use them as a replacement for employees. The advantage you have with VAs or actual virtual employees is loyalty. So I'm looking for people that are only working for me. Part-time work. If I'm going to hire someone who's doing part-time work, I often look for students or people who don't have any other commitments. It just improves their focus. They have one task to do, and if I need something done quickly, I can tell them to drop all their other tasks and just get this done first, and that's worked very well for me. Again, with virtual employees, you've got the benefit of being able to train them, and I think it's a really great investment if you put in some time up front to train them, to let them do work, slowly increase their tasks, give them new work, more challenging work, but also invest some time into giving them good feedback so that they know what they could be doing better. Don't just accept crappy work because you think they can't do it better, because most people actually can improve if you point them in the right direction, which with your experience and sort of broad understanding of these businesses, you should be able to do. The other advantage of having employees is that you save a lot of time. Currently, I spend maybe 5 minutes a day on average per virtual employee. That is not a lot of time for management, and that's just because I've set it up so that everyone knows what their tasks are. So my Shopify VA, she knows that she has to fulfill orders, reply to customers, and manage social media accounts. I then give her tasks on top of that if I need something done, but she can get up in the morning and she knows what she has to do. Only occasionally will she have to write to me saying, there's a strange customer request, what do I do? But in most cases, she can handle it all herself. So I've essentially removed hours and hours of work completely from my weekly task list. With freelancers, you can't really do this because you give them one article to write, they write it, and then they come back, what do I do next? So you don't have the same sort of consistency, and it just takes a lot more of your time to manage them. So although you're saving time, you often get worse results than if you wrote the article yourself, and you also spent more time managing instead of doing more productive things with your time. So that's yet another big benefit to hiring virtual employees over freelancers. Again, to finish off, I want to emphasize this point that while freelancers are cool, they are useful for some things, overall they're more expensive and take more of your time, and you also can't trust them as much because you you're unlikely to build up a long working relationship together. I highly encourage you to go with virtual employees instead and build up a relationship with them. Get to know them, get to know what they're good at, what their skills are. You might find that you have a VA doing social media management who has a flair for sales or copywriting or whatever, so that you can slowly teach her some new skills or whatever. That's really all I have to say on this topic. Highly encourage you to check it out. Link for onlinejobs.ph is in the description. Sign up and hire your first VA there. It'll cost you 300 to 500 US dollars a month for full-time work. I mean, it's crazy cheap, and I really think it's something that everyone should consider if you're actively building an online business. So that's all for today's video. Until next time, James Holt.